YouTube, it's Brian Phillips. You're never gonna know what's coming next on Brian Phillips RC. And here's the next thing, the Troxus T1, which is an electric scooter, no less. Yeah, so we're gonna drive this thing around. We're gonna show you how it works. We'll show you how fast we can get the thing going. And then we're gonna show you the unbox and build, which was super easy. We didn't even charge the battery all the way, which, by the way, before we forget, the battery drops off super easy, just like that. And you could bring that thing inside and charge it. That's a 36-volt battery, 7,500 milliamp hours, or 7.5 amp hours if you prefer. And yes, you can lock the battery on for security, which is super nice. We're still getting used to it a little bit. But as you can see, you just drop it in there, pull up, and then this thing locks down here, which then prevents people from being able to collapse it and steal it conveniently. If you want, you can actually lift this. You can lift this thing and collapse this thing down in a matter of seconds. It's super duper easy, and all you have to do is do it the right way, and it is super easy. But for now, we're gonna show you how this thing runs. There's a kickstand on it, obviously. There's lights that are on and flashing for brakes on the back, and forward-facing lights that go forward. As you can see, it's a little bit bright right now. So without further ado, we're gonna turn on the power. It's on. And this display in the sun is very, very hard to see. I can see it, sort of. I'm in push mode. You double click, it'll go to the different speeds. Speed 1, speed 2, and then speed 3. That noise you're hearing is the light turning on.
And we show the screen when we're inside.
Yep.
Because it's not going to show up on camera.
Lights off, lights on.
That we can see.
Okay, so the brakes are electromagnetic up front and disc in the back, but they're not hydraulic discs, they're mechanical disc. So we're gonna try this. I've got it set up to where we have to push to start, and then throttle engages. That's pretty crazy. And yes, you can definitely hear the brakes working. The brakes up front are electromagnetic, and in the back, they're disc. I don't know the speed threshold where it kicks in, because you see I'm giving throttle and it doesn't move. So really you just have to get it started and then it'll go. I'm in speed mode 3. It's got a very big spot to stand. 350 watt motor, this is kind of crazy. Okay, I'm gonna lose audio for a second. So I'm assuming you can hear me now again. Zero problems going uphill right now. And this thing is speedy. We're going 12 miles an hour. And I'm just gonna lean back a little bit as I slow down. The brakes are super easy to use. They aren't scary like some of these things are. When you brake, it's strong, but you can give it a little bit, a lot, or a lot more, just like you would expect from an analog brake. So it's not scary, it's not all or nothing. If you pull that brake all the way, it slows you down quick. So very smooth ride, big rubber pad down here, which gives you lots of room. There's protection from the wheel, there's protection from mud splatters. The lights do come on when you have your lights on. So if your lights are on, the red lights flash when you brake. You are not going to be able to see it right now, but when it's dark, this thing will be very easy to see. So we'll have to get some darker footage as well, guys. And we'll do that. You know how it is on Brian Phillips RC. We show an exhaustive review of items because we want you to be confident in trying to copy some of the experiences we have. Obviously, Troxus makes just a small number of items, but it really caught our eye because they have some bicycles too that we'd like to do. And this is a really cool product. 350 watts is a lot of power. It could easily carry 2 people, but you're not supposed to ride with 2. So we won't do that on camera at all. But anyway, the display so far, very hard to see in the sun. There may be a brightness setting we can find. We'll double check in the manual. You can change your speed from miles per hour to kilometers per hour, but I don't know how to do that yet. Ours is in miles per hour, and it does have a total miles traveled. So ours is currently 0, and it's gonna take some time to get up to 1 mile. As you can see, we don't have the hugest space here. But where we're gonna show you riding is different than where you can ride. So that's what's so cool about this. Now, 350 watts, you have to be a little bit careful about what your local rules are with e-bikes and e-scooters. But in our case, we're out here where we can do what we want, and that's the way we like it. So in speed level 3, I'm gonna go to speed level 1. You double click, this is push only. So I'm gonna push, and then I'm holding the throttle button all the way down with my right hand. And as you can see, I'm going to barely be moving.
So you're in level 1 right now?
I'm in push.
Oh.
This is push assist, okay?
Oh, okay, gotcha.
The interesting part is, you see how slow I'm going? I'm not exactly some sort of a professional scooter rider. Maybe in another life, but not here and not now. It gives you just enough speed so that you can walk it, okay? Which is really nice. Might be easier to walk this side though. It just helps you along if you're going up a hill. There is a bell. We knew you guys were worried about that.
Very.
And you don't have to let go. You just move it and it clicks both ways. The thing I like about the bell is that it's simple, but it works. Electronic horns are nice if they work, but then if you power down the unit or your battery's depleted, you don't have any way of making noise, and other than your mouth.
You're pretty good at that.
Thank you. So double click. If you click too fast, it doesn't always pick up your clicks too. I'm in speed 1. Let's see how this looks. Now you can shut off the push to start. Speed 1's pretty fast. You don't have to hold the throttle the whole time. You can just ask for throttle on demand and go just about as slow as you want. But I think there's about one of you that's gonna do that. And everybody else is gonna put it in speed 3 and never take it out.
So speed 1 is for me?
Yeah. Now I think there may be a cruise on here too. I'm trying to figure that out with certitude. Because if there's cruise, you'll want to know that.
So how fast are you going right now?
7, 8, 9, 8, 9, 9. Looks like it caps out at 9. I'll turn around.
Okay.
10 going downhill. I'm trying to respect our microphones. They only have so much range. But going uphill, it stays about 9 miles an hour. So it looks like speed 1 gets you to about 9 miles an hour. Now you can switch speeds and all this while you're running, but I'm gonna go to speed 2 and just show you exactly how that works.
I could definitely see your lights in person when I glance up at you. I can see the lights really well. I don't know how well it'll show up.
I can see the display too, but it's not as good as on the D11, the electric bike that we recently reviewed by Fido.
Fido.
So this one here is hard to see. There might be a setting we're missing. We're gonna look into it. Also, you can do this to where you can give throttle without push start, and I believe you do a triple press for that. And I don't know, there's a beep boop and then a boop beep. So I don't know, we'll try that. See, nothing. So I'm gonna go faster and then throttle goes. This is speed 2, it's significantly faster, oh my goodness. Now we're going 11, 12 miles an hour, 13 miles an hour, 13 and steady. Oh, geez. So it looks like this one takes you to about 13 and flat and level. But otherwise it's about 10 to 12 on the way up the hill. That's 10 to 12 miles an hour. A lot of these bikes are actually going to display their speed in kilometers an hour, so that's pretty fast. Okay, so we're going to go to the 3 and see what that is. So that changes the doo-doo. It changes to the 3rd speed. So I want to see if I can get this going with a slow push. See, it just doesn't go. Giving it throttle, nothing. So there's a big safety feature there. So I like that. And now it's pushing me fast. Okay, full speed gets me to about 13 before I run out of runway here. So 13 full speed is only 1 mile an hour faster than last speed, but I think it had to do with the flat and level ground. So what we'll do is this. By the way, the brakes are incredible. You would think that they'd be sticky and clunky, but they're anything but. When you're really moving, you give it just a little bit of pressure and it's very consistent. You can hear the motor slow you down. It's very nice. So I think what we're going to do next is we'll reset ourselves down by the road and we'll do a couple of passes on the road. We have a very, very lowly traveled road, so we should be totally fine doing that. And we'll get up to speed and see how it does. And I'll wait till I'm in mic range to go ahead and talk about it.
Okay, if you can see him, he's way up there by the sign. He didn't wait for the camera crew without a scooter.
Okay, so I'm currently going 17 miles an hour.
17.
Okay, so I'm going 17, 16 miles an hour, 15 miles an hour, 15, still 15. I've probably lost Mike now.
There is a little bit of a hill where he was coming from, but not too much. You notice it a lot more when you're on a bike or on a scooter. And I apologize for the wind noise. Obviously, we're not going to be flying today, so we'll do this instead. So I think he's probably going to go all the way up around the curve where we won't be able to see him anymore. The pavement ends, that white fence that you can see up there is the cemetery that's just up past our house, and it's paved only up to the entrance and the exit to the cemetery. So he will turn around and come back. That there is a hill. So we'll see how fast he's going when he gets in mic range. He'll probably be a second before we can hear him. If he yells, I'll say it too so that we can see where he's at.
Okay, so going downhill 17 to 18 miles an hour is no problem. And then going uphill, it seems to lose speed with me, and I'm about 285 pounds. And it'll put me up the hills about 13, maybe 12 miles an hour, depending on how much speed and inertia I'm carrying. So there is an uphill that way, and we're pretty flat here, and there's a pretty steep uphill up there. So as we did with the Fido bike, we're gonna go ahead and bring you along for some of the ride just so you can see. The trouble is you won't be able to see this display, so we'll do like we did before, and we'll have a cell phone mounted so that we can see the GPS speed reading. Then we can also test and see if it's an honest speed. But at 17 miles an hour, there's very, very little vibration or oscillation. It just feels solid. It's a little bit intense getting up to speed on speed setting 3, but it's not scary. And then the braking is very smooth and easy to use. I would not recommend jamming the brakes on fully because it's gonna be pretty drastic if you do that. Even doing this through the range will slow you down as you get through the range. The brake feels solid, Sometimes you get brakes and they're wonky and they've got lots of play. This has very limited play up and down, but as I pull the brake, it's very easy to brake. Now we have a little bit of a hill here. Again, 285 pounds is not a small guy on a item like this. So if I can do it, there's a good chance you can do it. If you're 100 pounds lighter, it's gonna be faster getting up to speed, but it's only gonna push so fast. Now that's not to say you can't push this with your own body, but the thing is when you're going 18 miles an hour, if you're still pushing faster, you're like incredible. So we're gonna go ahead and try this again, go up to the top of the driveway and reset.
Ooh, there you could kind of see the lights flash when he braked a little bit.
All right guys, T1, we've got a cell phone mount here, and we're gonna go ahead and get this thing going. Sweet. Sorry you don't have a better view. You can see I'm braking a little bit. And then full throttle. This works really nice. I'm a little bit concerned you won't be able to see the speed very good. I'm try to block that with my shadow. Showing 15 miles an hour on the screen on 16 miles an hour, 15, 16. And then we've got 15 on the display from Troxus. And we are going uphill. It's probably a little bit hard to tell. But as you can see, we're gonna come up here and crest at the top of the hill. You probably won't be able to see. But I'll take this thing, slow down a little bit. Just use barely any brake pressure. And then we're gonna turn around here. Now this will be the downhill pass. Sorry for the wind noise. There is wind at my face right now. We've got 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 17. And that wind is so strong. Feels very stable. Having no problems. We're gonna make a turn here and go uphill. Okay. We'll go uphill again, about 12 miles an hour up the hill. That's what we've been seeing this whole time. On speed 3, give it a little bit of brake. And just, you can hear it when it kicks in, that. Okay. So there you have it, guys. Okay, so we'll reset and come right back. Okay, so we tried to show that the speedometer on the T1 was the same as the GPS reading from our phone. And we saw that it was exactly the same, with the exception of at one position we were going downhill and the T1 said 17, but then the GPS said 15 for a second. I don't know if that was a fluke on the GPS or a fluke on the T1. But either way, it felt like about 17 was the speed that we could go in speed level 3 and into a headwind. So I think with the tailwind and downhill, you could go a little bit faster, because I remember seeing it go up to like almost 19. So that's still in miles per hour, not kilometers an hour. So that's pretty fast on a scooter. And for me, it's sufficiently fast and it's sufficiently powerful. When you are going up hills, you don't feel like you're really bogged down. And maintaining a 12 mile per hour speed is plenty to keep your balance. You can actually be going a lot slower than that and still keep your balance. That was one of my concerns with this electric scooter, is that it was going to be so heavy that when you went to a slow speed, it would want to basically fall over. So you'd end up pushing all the time anyway. And we have scooters around here, and kids ride scooters and we ride scooters, and they're really fun. But the electric scooter had me kind of scratching my head. So at this point, I want to say it's really cool. So I hope you guys like it. And if you want to stick around, we'll go ahead and open it up right here in the kitchen like we do our airplanes. And we'll show you what type of problems we run into, which were virtually nil. We had some extra hardware we weren't sure about. And other than that, very happy with this thing. So definitely check the links in the video description below. They don't sell a lot of different items, but they have a couple of different bikes, and then they have this scooter. And the scooter is really cool at Troxus. You should check it out. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for the unbox and build. So we're gonna try this again just to show you what it looks like with the camera pointed up, so you can kind of see what's going on. It's a little bit challenging for me to do this while I'm riding. So we're just gonna actually take off my wife's camera, or my wife's cell phone, so that it doesn't get broken. And this is all we did. We just zip tied that thing on there. All right, so full disclosure, and kickstand's going up, and here we go. So just pushing. And the camera's kind of tipping on me, so we're gonna try this again. All right, so I'm verifying that the power's on to the bike. Oh, I had to wake it back up, guys. That's why. I had to press the power button again because it timed out while we were inside reviewing footage. Okay, there we go. Okay. So there you have a pretty good view of what I'm seeing. Okay. So we're just going along. Really nice, comfortable view. It's pretty good representation of what I'm seeing. As you can see, we're moving along really fast. We're going 16 to 17 miles an hour right now, and we're slowing down as we go uphill. You can definitely tell this is a pretty steep hill. Or maybe you can't tell, but you should be able to tell. It's definitely not shallow. Okay, so we're in speed 3. We're just gonna keep going up here, and we'll turn around at the second stop. And as you can see, there's a gravel road ahead, and that's why we have so little traffic. It's only paved so people can get to the cemetery. And a little light gravel there on the road, no problem at all. Okay, so we're gonna speed up. I'll kind of read out the speed. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 17, 17, 17, 18. We're going with the headwind. And there's the house there. And 17, and it's slowing back down because we're getting into a bit of a hill here. I did notice that if you shift your body weight by just kind of flinging it forward a little bit, it can sometimes give you a little bit of a boost when you want it. That's what the bell sounds like. And we'll keep in the throttle and make this turn, no problem. As you can see right up here, we're still making 13. And the cruise must be on because when I let go of the throttle, it keeps going. We're gonna try that real quick. So I'm pressing and holding the throttle. Now I'm letting go, it let go, stopped immediately. Pressing, holding it for a few seconds, then letting go. It's just immediately lets go on the downhill sweep. Okay, so pressing the brake gently and just gonna kind of roll into it here. Full throttle on the way up the hill again this time, and then when I let go, I wanna see if it stops giving me throttle. Okay, so when I let go here, it's still going. See, I've let go and it's still going. So I brake and it interrupts. There's got to be a little something like a cruise control action. And yes, you can give very low throttle in the top speed if you're in gear 3, and you can just cruise around at a nice relaxing pace of, 4, 5, 6, 7 miles an hour. Or if you want to go like nuts, you can go fast like this, which is kind of crazy actually. So remember, I'm not pushing at all. I haven't had my feet down the whole time. And then you can stop really quick if you want. That's full on brakes from full speed, okay? Just to get going, you got to give a couple pushes, and then there we go. So as you can see, all the way uphill. So I think I've pushed off twice for this whole thing. You can hear those brakes. They work really nice. So there you have it, guys. So we'll pause and get reset. Oh, and then also, just so you can see, down here, the kickstand's super easy to do, even with flip-flops. That's something we run into on our other scooters. We can't always manipulate the kickstand, even on the kids' ones with flip-flops. And to me, using a scooter is like, go outside and use the scooter for 20 minutes, and then when you're done, you're done. It's not like we're gonna go out and ride the scooter for 3 hours at a time. At least that's not the way we do it. Maybe your experience is different. Maybe you're gonna use this thing to commute back and forth from your place of employment. The thing looks cool. It doesn't sit near as high. I thought that this little bit of gap from the ground would make it really unstable, but I just don't experience that at all. I feel totally under control when I'm driving it. The brakes are effective. They're certainly not overly powerful, which actually would be a terrible thing in my case, because if you brake too hard, you could be flipped off of the thing. But I don't feel like that's an issue at all. So the Troxus T1, get yours from the link in the video description below. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you buy from those links, you'll be helping to support our channel. And obviously it's gonna be super fun for you, so I definitely encourage you to get it. Super high quality, super nice. Stay tuned for more, guys. YouTube, it's Brian Phillips. Look what we've got here. This thing is way too heavy to be an airplane. What could it possibly be? Oh wait, you've already seen.
And they can read the front of the box.
There's a picture?
Picture on it.
How dare they put a picture on my unboxing? So guys, we're not 100% sure if it's pronounced Troxus or some other way, but that's what we're saying. Hopefully we don't sound like complete idiots. Look, a bag of tools. This is nice. Tools and screws. That makes my camera crew excited every time she sees screws in a sack. They did not fold the manual in half. Yes.
Hey, it's in color too.
Yeah. Okay, I see that we can probably flip this out. Normally you wouldn't do this on top of your counter. You would do it like on the ground.
In your garage.
In the garage also, that's another option. So this thing, before we get too far, it has one-click folding module design. I'm pretty sure that's not what they meant. Modular design. Quick release battery. Triple suspension. Then it's got 350 watt motor. It's IP54 sealed. So that means you probably should not like drive it through a lake. Yeah. Okay. Here goes nothing, guys. This is a scooter. And we all know that Brian Phillips RC. That is like the fifth thing we do. Is it gonna fall apart?
Nope, not yet.
Ooh, lucky. We are super excited about this thing because these are the sort of things that are super fun and new and exciting.
And everyone loves to watch us review.
Everybody loves it. So, you may have noticed that we've had the link for Troxus USA or something like that, Troxus Mobility. Just look in the video description below and you'll see we got nice, super strong foam. You could probably sit a car on top of that. And the poor FedEx delivery gal that had to take this out of the truck. It was hilarious. It's kind of a heavy box. So, what did it say on here? I think it said like 45 pounds or something.
I don't know, I didn't see.
Yeah, it says on here that the all-up weight on this box is 44 pounds, packaging, including packaging.
Oh.
So the actual but the actual scooter itself is a little bit lighter. Trying to figure out the best way to do this so I don't damage anything.
Is it in 2 pieces currently?
I think it might be in 2 pieces. It's maybe in 3 pieces.
Oh.
Okay, so this appears to be the handlebar, but there's wires going through, so I'm being super careful. Okay, so we're gonna show you how to build this. Should be a pretty simple build. Okay, then there's a box full of possibly a battery. Not sure. It's kind of heavy.
Oh.
Let's see what's in here. Oh, charger, I bet. Yeah. Yeah, charger. Okay, that looks nice. Everything's Ziploc bags. That's nice. Okay, so it looks like a regular AC cord, ungrounded cord. That can be good for garages if you've got them in an old garage. In our case, we have a fairly new house, so we have grounded outlets on everything, but if you've got an older garage or something with just 2-prong outlets, looks like a regular style drum connector. This actually feels pretty heavy, which is what I like to, 42 volts out at 2 amp max. So that's usually the mark of a battery, is what the charger charges it at. So you can tell what your voltage is gonna be. So this is a 48 or 42 volt circuit. This must be 36 volts probably, if it charges at 42. We'll see what the book says. But anyway, so that just plugs in there like a standard charger, nothing too terribly special. And just kind of working through the ranks here. Another piece of foam. I want to be super careful the way I do this because there's, oh, that's the brake line. There's a brake line because I believe there's 1 brake.
Just all in like one.
Wow, it might actually be
bag.
all except for the handlebar. Camera crew, can you hold that up as I pull this toward my body?
Yep.
Okay, good job. I want to do this without damaging the counter or the bike. In this case, the scooter.
It's like when you call a helicopter an airplane.
I knew you were going to say something about that. Okay, so there is a base station for the battery.
Oh.
Okay, so it's got 4 pins, so it must be 3 cells. That's actually really nice. I like that.
So you can plug. Nice.
You can plug that in. Let's get that plugged in. We'll do the boring stuff first. To a regular outlet, we have an outlet under here. And then there's no light on yet. Now there's a light on. Okay, so that's good. Plastic. You know you guys are here for the money shot, so. Oh, you can plug it in directly to the battery as well here.
Give me the.
I do want you to help me, but I know you're holding the camera.
Well, but if you lift, I could probably.
So these are pneumatic tires. It's a pneumatic, non-pneumatic. It's non-pneumatic hollow tire. So it's 8.5 inch. So it's like a solid tire. That's so weird, but it's not solid.
Oh.
That's weird.
It is weird.
It feels like a regular tire, but it's like super heavy. I mean, this whole thing is actually quite heavy, and I don't know if that's a mark of quality or a mark of not quality, but I'm just gonna say it feels very sturdy. Jeez, look at this. Look at the big heavy welds on everything. I had no idea what to expect when we got this thing ordered. Oh my goodness, that is sweet. There's lights that go forward. That is so cool. I didn't know there was lights. There's a kickstand, yes. An integral kickstand. Looks like this might be adjustable too, guys. You can unscrew here, show them the end, and then you can maybe adjust that possibly. I'm not sure. Or wait, no, that's just how it goes. That's how it goes in. Okay, sweet. And yes, there are back-facing lights. Looks like possibly 3 of them. I'm gonna get some side cutters so we can cut the zip tie here.
I wonder, are those actual lights or are they just like reflectors?
That's a good point, guys. Might be reflectors, not sure. Okay, so we'll take that off.
That was just to protect, maybe?
Yeah, just so that it doesn't bang into itself in shipping. Okay, so far we've used a utility knife and a pair of side cutters, but you could do that with a utility knife as well if you were careful. How does this work?
It's open down here.
Okay, can you pick that up and I'll pull this out? Okay, great, so we've got that ready. So I think that slides into the end.
Look, there's a light there too.
Oh, nice, that is so cool.
And then this is wrapped up.
And then this must be the throttle. The throttle and the brake.
I wonder what that is then.
I don't know, they've got it covered up, probably because it's like a, oh sweet, power button. Oh, throttle.
There's a throttle.
So what's that? Oh, it's a bell. Keep it simple, stupid, right? That is actually pretty sweet. It's nice to be able to make noise because these things are quiet, and if you see somebody, you want to alert them that you're coming.
Yeah.
Okay, so now there is a way to release this so that we can fold it up and click it, okay? But I want to be super careful the way we do it.
Do we need to?
Yeah, maybe we should look at the manual before we break something.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Don't break it already.
Super exciting. I want to get the battery charging. Ooh, that's what we should do.
What does that note say? Always use the recommended charger from the supplier and protect the charging pod by closing the cap after charging.
Lock and unlock. See this? That unlocks it. But I don't know if that unlocks it up above or down below. So we're gonna find out. Okay, the camera crew. Yes. Oh, it's so exciting. And the light went red.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so here we go. Looks like a decent quality manual. So the kickstand out, refer to step 8 unfolding instructions. Or is that page 8? Yeah, looks like there is. Open the carriage support downwards, flip the lock down, pull the folding handle up and out. Flip the shackle downwards, open the kickstand. Okay, so it's something about doing the kickstand, right? Press down the handle.
Oh, this shackle thing is like, see, in between. Is that what they're talking about?
Yeah, that's the shackle.
So flip it down
It
and
is
then
down.
open the kickstand.
Hold on, I've got a piece in here. I wonder if that piece is preventing it from opening all the way.
Oh.
No, it's just keeping it so it doesn't damage itself. So you're supposed to fold this all the way down and then that allows it?
Then pull the folding handle upwards and outwards.
The folding handle, this one?
The whole thing, I think.
Unless this is locked somehow? I'm just not sure. Oh, this handle. Is that what they're talking about? I can see it drops down, but it feels like it doesn't want to drop down any further. Because this is how you lock it, right here. See?
Oh, yep.
I don't think that's what they mean. Because that's how you lock it in the up position, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, we might study this for a second and then come right back.
Okay.
Okay, this is why you do an unboxing, because we're just trying to figure this out. Okay, so this releases the battery, by the way. So let's look at the battery for a minute. This is a 36 volt DC, 270 watt hour, 7.5 amp hour. Okay. Or if you're in the radio controlled world, that'd be 7,500 milliamp hours. Okay, so then this goes in like this, and then that light should change to red. There's no status light on this. It's very easy to stand that up. I like that you can take the battery off, but you're gonna keep that in mind. See, it's got a release like this, and you can lock that then to keep somebody from stealing your battery. So that's nice. You see how it's got this release like that? It's really heavy duty, robust release. So if you lock around it, you should be able to lock it to where somebody can't steal it then. Okay, so we're still struggling to figure out exactly how to get this thing to go up and down, because it does go up and down, obviously. I just can't find a release mechanism yet. And this thing has a piece of foam in it from shipping, and we're thinking that that's preventing us from actually getting it lifted. So we're kind of looking over the individual pieces, and we want to put the handlebars on, but the handlebars are just kind of like, it doesn't really work great to do that yet because of the nature of what we're doing. That's just a protective cover. Why don't we see if we can put this on first? Okay. Yeah, it looks like that's going to be pretty straightforward stuff. Yeah, it's already lined up. I guess we could actually just do this real quick.
So that's what we need.
Because we have a sink we can lay it in.
Yeah, that's true.
So if we put that down in the sink, then we can get some screws going.
Okay.
So that's pretty nice.
because then we can lay it on the ground. It'll be
And
a
that
little
must
easier.
be what that little orange
Yeah, it's
included tool is for,
this
right?
is what you use. It's a hex drive.
Align the screw holes, insert screws, and just tighten.
Okay, here it is.
Literally just tighten, that's what it says.
Just tighten.
Just tighten.
Like we were going to do something different.
Right.
Were you?
Loosen them, I mean, they're already in there.
Okay, so these two are countersunk like that, and they already have a Loctite applied. So those are going to go into these different areas. Okay. So I'm just going to get the first one started. I'm not going to actually tighten them all until I get them installed so that I make sure I don't over torque it and get it misaligned. This should be pretty easy stuff though.
I like that they actually gave you a tool that's long enough to reach where
Yeah,
you need
I know.
to go.
Sometimes we get tools with these machines and airplanes and stuff that are not even appropriate for what we're doing with them. And I've never understood exactly why they do that. This is a flat face, so that must take this type of screw. There's really only two styles of screw here. Yep, there's a lot of screws that go into this.
Where do the rest of them go?
There's two on the other side, just like this.
Oh,
And that's, I think there's got to be some more. Why would they give us so many extras?
know.
That's weird. Is that one? No, that one's already in. I wonder why they give you so many extras. Is there another place we have to put screws in?
do you want me to look at the directions while you're
Yeah, while I'm
turning?
screwing.
Okay, I'll read.
That'd be great.
Okay.
You read while I'm screwing.
Okay, that sounds good. I'm good with that. Up and down. Okay, so it shows a screw like in the back where you put those little flat ones.
Hey, look, I put this on its end, and that makes it way easy to
Oh,
work
maybe
on.
that'll help
Yeah.
figure out how to open it.
So just looking at the brakes and stuff, there's a brake line and an electric line that goes through here. And I think we're gonna wanna be a little bit careful about getting this thing turned too sharp so as to break those wires. We'll have to take a look at that after a bit.
Okay.
So this is the speed controller, it looks like, because it's got a heat sink on it. I'm not sure how I feel about having that up at the top. It's nice because it keeps it out of the water, but makes me a little bit
Nervous about having a
hot spot close to where your hands go. I mean, this is an adult rated product. This isn't really supposed to be for kids.
Right.
So we will abide by all safety rules as typical on Brian Phillips RC.
Yes.
100% of them.
Sure. Always.
Yeah. I wonder if they just gave you enough to do like all the wrong
Is it
screws in the right holes.
Because I don't see, I'm already here to where you need your knee pads. Do you have those ready to go?
Who needs knee pads? Is that for me?
You.
Oh, for me?
It says rider instructions. That would be you,
Well,
not me.
I mean, you could always ride first.
Nope, I'm good.
You sure? Mm-hmm. Okay. The camera crew expressly told me that she was not prepared to film right now because she was cleaning our stairs.
Yes.
And I'm like, that's tough. Do I let her finish cleaning the stairs or build the thing?
And yes, for those of you wondering, we are still cleaning whatever we were cleaning from the other day when we talked about cleaning carpet.
Did we talk about that in the
We
video?
did.
Wow.
Because we're that old.
That old and lame.
Yeah.
Wow. That's what you have to look forward to.
kids.
Yep.
Kids are not watching this though.
This is not marketed to children.
It is not.
This is marketed to adults that like things like this. Right?
Please don't store near ammable materials.
Amables.
A fire could start.
If it's really amable.
Ammable.
You don't want to. Okay, so I have three extra of each, and I mean, that's a lot of
I
extra.
don't
Why do we have so
see
many extras?
Anywhere else where you would put screws in the manual.
Really?
I think you're done
Well,
screwing for now.
I mean, hold on. There's three more I got to tighten, and then
Oh.
we'll be done. Well, in that case, I suppose we better put those in the manual. We'll put them in a bag, and then we'll put them with the manual, and then if we need them later, we've got them.
I guess.
Pretty simple. I do like that the power button's up on the top. The last electric bike we reviewed, the power button was under the seat, which is where the battery was
Right.
on the Fido D11. And we've actually been really enjoying that product. It's a very good quality product. I just showed my brother that thing today and he got all excited about it. And then I showed him this thing because it showed up and FedEx was pulling in when he was trying to
Pull out, and I'm like, you need to stop and wait.
So we got all excited. All right, so this thing, there's quite a few turns on these screws, but nothing you can't do. Do you want to try it and just see if you can handle it. If you can't get enough torque, all you have to do is just use the other direction. So it's designed to give you the high torque here.
Oh, so it's the
If you're not privy to the way these things work, yeah, you can use this and turn it, and it works nice because the handlebar's in the way. But then when you get down to where it's tight, then you can bring it out like this. You can really torque it down nicely. There's got to be somewhere else where we miss screws. How can there be other places that we're missing screws? That seems so strange to me. I don't see anywhere where there would be screws. I wonder if they just give you spares in case something vibrates loose, because it looks like they use the same screws on these wheel mechanisms.
Yeah, they kind of all look the same, but there's no spot where there's like 2 blank spots here, but that's not a screw hole.
Really? Okay. I'll take your word for it.
Okay, so I got
It was all tight. My second one down didn't want to tighten. It's just spinning. So I guess we'll find out if that's an issue. It's like strangely satisfying to hear. Okay, so we have that all done, I think. And oh, there's an LED display here. Well, that's super cool.
Yeah, there's a thing in the manual about it.
So now that we have this lifted,
you have to get that piece of foam out of there.
you think the foam is what's
I think
preventing
so.
it? Okay, we're gonna grab some needle nose pliers.
Yeah.
So we're up to 3 tools plus the provided tool. This is getting pretty, you know what? We're gonna go straight for the forceps. The hemostats.
Yeah, because everyone has those in their kitchen drawer, Brian.
That's right. If you don't have hemostats in your drawers, you're doing something wrong. Okay, so that little thin piece of squishy foam,
Okay.
that can go in the pile of goodies.
So now flip the little shackle thing down. Can it go all the way down now?
Well, it's down.
Okay.
But I still feel like it's not going.
Open the kickstand. Is the kickstand open?
No, it's not.
Okay, so
Open the kickstand. Okay, so the kickstand.
Follow the directions.
The kickstand. Oh, goodness gracious. I don't consider myself to be a weakling, and that was pretty heavy.
Then pull the folding handle up and out.
Pull the folding handle up and out? Like up like this? Or this handle?
I don't think so.
No. Up and out. See, to go out, let's show them over here what I'm talking about. To fold it down, I get that because there's this release here. See? You got to go up and then all the way back. I wonder if you're supposed to go up like this. No. See? There's nothing there.
But how do you get the wheel past?
Oh, maybe you have to turn it to an extreme so that you miss the wheel.
But it's not like releasing here.
Yeah, this is how you lock it in when you get it all the way up. So.
But it's supposed to be down.
Okay, so this doesn't seem to really help anything. So we're gonna keep looking and we'll come right back when we figure it out. All right, so we figured it out. We're pretty sharp tools. Look at this. That's how you do it. There's a downward function, okay? So you see how that dropped? This thing I thought was to prevent, I thought it was to give you something to pull it out from this position. Okay, so you see how it's locked? That's not to give you something to pull. You can lift this and pull, sure, but then that stops you accidentally releasing it, okay? So once this is collapsed, it's super, super smooth.
Okay.
It is like nothing. That's why you come to Brian Phillips RC. So you can see how not to do things. Now, once you have your kickstand down, the thing sits up, and then this thing, of course, is allowed to lock right here. Now, we have the battery off, but if the battery was here, you'd have a little something more to hold on to. This thing folds down. And again, the idea is, I think what you could do is you can use that to lock so that you can't release the battery.
So you can lock it
From here down, and that keeps everything intact. So our battery, of course, is not fully charged. This does get pretty warm, by the way.
Does it?
Yeah. So you might want to be aware of that. Now, just so you can see, we'll unplug this. When it's unplugged, it's green. So it's a lot like all of our regular batteries that we use. Let's see how hard it is to put this in. There's like a rubber pad down here. And as you drop this in, you do have to pull up, otherwise it won't go. And then once it's in, okay? You can also unplug this. And the way we're gonna do it in our garage is we'll have this thing set up, ready to plug in, and then we can just plug it in right on.
It's on the other side now, is it?
It's on the other side here.
Okay.
So you just undo this little grommet here, like this, and then plug it in, and you're ready to rock and roll. So it's gonna charge right there. Now you can get a spare battery while you're ordering this unit, and then obviously you can use your docking station, which makes it nice and neat. So I kind of like the fact that it sits up tall like that. That makes it easy. Now, if you don't have the docking station, can you charge it still? I'm gonna
Plug this to stop the charging cycle.
and then lift this up. It's really easy to take out. Obviously it stays vertical or it stays collapsed. I don't know if there's a way to plug it in without. Yep, it looks like you do need the charging dock. So if you're gonna charge it like this, you do have to keep this thing, okay? So keep that in mind. That is something to consider. Oh wait, no, that's just a seal down there. See, I thought you could maybe plug in the drum connector down there. This is called a drum connector if you guys weren't aware. Okay, so the drum connector goes into that socket there. All right, cool. So we know how it goes together. That took us like all of 5 minutes if you watched us and learned from our mistakes.
Yep.
So the next step is we're gonna let that charge for a little bit, clean up our stuff, and come right back. You guys have already seen the run video. So if you wanna buy one of these, you'll help support our channel, and you can find the link in the video description below. We have the master link for Troxus, and if you click on that, follow the link, then we'll get credit for the sales that go through, and you'll be helping to support us with a small commission with each sale. Also, we're super excited to bring these things to you.
Obviously, our mainstay on the channel is radio
Controlled aircraft, predominantly fixed wing, but obviously we do helicopters as well, and we've done thousands of different videos. The fun stuff that we bring on this channel is because we understand that nobody is as one-dimensional as any YouTube channel makes them out to be. We obviously have many multi-facets to our life, and fixed wing radio controlled aircraft is a big part of our life, unusually large, you would argue, but we obviously do other stuff. And so we get other fun things, we're gonna bring them to you and share that small bit of our experience. So by no means we don't wanna bring ourselves out here and pretend like we're some sort of scooter experts, but at the same time, if it's electric and it's fun, we're probably gonna have it on this channel. So come back for more. Buy from the links below. If you hate this product, you want something else, even more listed below that. And then of course we have affiliate links that help you to support our channel in the small contributions that come from the manufacturers instead of from you. But if you'd prefer to support us directly, we have PayPal and Patreon listed below. But for now, Troxus, really cool. Definitely check it out. Follow the links,
look into it a little bit, think it over.
It's probably gonna look good in your garage, I promise. Stay tuned for more. All right, so the battery is still charging, but we can't resist, like usual. We are gonna try this, and I just wanna see kind of how things go together. You do definitely have to pull that up. It's super easy to load the battery though. Yes, this does work without the battery. So if the battery dies, you can still push along. It's not like it has to be powered. And that's easy to do. I have flip-flops on. I think you might be wise to put on actual shoes and a helmet and things like that. So there's a little display cover here. I'm gonna peel that off for the first time because it's always super exciting to peel off stickers. Oh yeah, that is so cool. I love that step.
Then what we're gonna do is
We're gonna test the bell. So this is obviously, they've got a squishy handle. It's solid, but it's got a little bit of squishiness. You wanna show them?
Oh, yeah.
So it works. And then the brakes, they're mechanical, but disc. They're not hydraulic. They should be quite easy to adjust right here with the provided tool. I believe the provided tool will adjust that. And, okay, so the provided tool is not the right size for that. So you'll need a different size hex drive to adjust the brakes if you need to. They are disc brakes and it's just on the back. Okay, so they're very strong. So we'll see how that works out in the real world here shortly. Also, I don't know that
there's really any height adjustment.
That's what I was just gonna ask.
but this thing will probably get hot, so you'll want to be careful about that. Other than that, also over here, don't forget to close this little plug cover, that dust cap. That would be a good idea. Okay, so when you turn this on for the first time, it comes up with the display. Then there's a light. Cool.
You can see it. Come on.
It's very bright. And there's forward-facing lights down
yeah.
here too. This light turns, which is nice.
And there are brake lights. I can see the red on the cabinet behind you. So those are.
Well, that's not a brake light necessarily. Oh, it flashes with braking. So it flashes when you're braking and it's solid when you're driving. So I don't know if that's actuated by this or from the control. Looks like it's an electronic control. And then look, it shows you the brake pressure. So as you press, it knows how hard you're pulling. Okay?
Then, of course, this is your throttle. When you push that down,
It's gonna go. So I'll just lift the tail wheel a little bit. Or is that a front drive? Okay, so it's not moving. So I'm not sure if I have to be on here for it to work. That might be a safety feature. Now there's also when you press the power button, it changes the light condition, but then I'm not sure how to change the speeds and things like that. So we're gonna look at that right now. Okay, so if you look over here with us, this is obviously the throttle knob. You'll notice nothing's happening. We must have a safety engaged, which is fine. We obviously couldn't figure out how to lift up the column, so we're not the smartest people in the room. We figured out the bell just fine. We figured out the brakes just fine. There's an electromagnetic brake on the front wheel, and then there's the actual brake back here. So when you fully engage it, you can see how much the electromagnetic braking is here. That's what that is for. Now this tells you how much throttle output you're getting. This is in push mode, where you just push. If you double click, it'll change to 1, 2,
and then 3. And if you short press,
then it turns the light on and off, okay? There's some different noises. Now, if you click 3 times, it changes different display values, okay? So it says 0 miles an hour. So I don't know if it'll go to 1. It says your real-time speed, okay? I don't know if it does backwards. It does do backward speed, okay? And this is your battery life, so there should be 2 more bars that are present for a fully charged battery. So it looks like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're at like 80% charge, okay? So as you can see, there's a plethora of double and triple and press and hold to shut off. Press and hold to turn on. Four clicks brings up that. Then it changes that.
there's another one where if
You press them 3 times, it changes the state too. And I think part of it is if you press too quick, it doesn't pick up. And if you press too slow, then it doesn't pick up. So you have to kind of get used to it. So that's in push mode. Also, the light likes to come on when it goes to push mode, not sure why. So a couple thoughts about the clicking. When you're riding at night, you may want to be quick about your clicks and only 2. If you click once, then it's going to turn the light off on you.
Yeah.
If you click once, it's going to turn it back on. So if you're driving along and you turn it off, that could be a little bit dangerous. So you need to be careful about when and how you click, and then be prepared to know what your surroundings are when you're doing that. The brakes shouldn't be a problem in terms of when you do brake, you got to be careful that you don't overdo it all the time, because you can actually get yourself in a dangerous situation. So the manufacturer recommends knee pads and a helmet. So
we'll think about that.
anyway, we're gonna go try to see if we can get this thing to drive forward, and we'll see what we get out of it. All right, YouTube, so it's dark, as you can see, and we have a beautiful moon out. We wanted to show you that this T1 fits right into the back of our Traverse. There's nothing especially special about this trunk versus other trunks, but we just wanted you to see how easy it was to get it in there, and there's room to spare. So when you take this out, we never did actually show collapsing it earlier, so we'll show that right now. You have this little safety that drops down. Once you lift that, then you can press down on it, and it allows you to tip up. And you can just do this right here, one-handed, really super easy. And then you can put down your kickstand. Even with flip-flops, it's no problem. So now, reverse operation is very easy too. There's also this lock here. So before you go ride, you want to put that lock in. Okay, so reverse operation. You lift up the security lock, drop it down. Okay, and then you pull it. And you don't even have to have your kickstand up. And then watch what happens. It locks. And then this prevents it from being pushed down. Then you can pick it up either direction. In our case, it works better this way for us in our car. And we just stick it into the deepest spot, rotate it, and there it is. It's in there with room to spare. So that's really nice, because if you get something like this, you're going to want to bring it places. Just to give you an idea, we'll go ahead and show you. We'll pause and we'll put a regular one in there just to show you how hard it is to get it in. Okay, so this is a non-powered version. It's just a kid's version. It's not even an adult version. And you can't even fit it in. Now, you could probably get it in by doing some fancy tricks or by collapsing things like this, but then you have to get it back to the same height. Mm-hmm. So, looks like you could probably get that in. It's so cool because the thing fits with a bunch of different objects. So, if you've got bags or things like that to bring to support your trip, that's pretty cool. So on the way out, it works super smooth, but we already showed that, so we'll come back. Okay, so we're gonna power everything on. We put this cell phone with the GPS on it just for comparison. So you press and hold. Now you can really easily see this. Okay, so we charged the battery this afternoon. And then a quick press turns the lights on, which is what we're gonna show you. And you see that turns with you, but then you have lights down here that give you your peripheral lighting.
Oh, yeah.
And then when you brake, you've got a flashing red light. So it's very, very easy to see in the dark, obviously. And you have, over here, you can see how there's first gear, 2 presses, takes you to second, takes you to third, or takes you to push mode, okay? So I'm just gonna go to the max speed, and then we're gonna reset this so that you can watch again like we did earlier, and then you can see how effective the lights are or aren't. Okay, so we're gonna get onto it now. And we're in speed 3, and we can see this super easy. And we'll try to give you guys a good angle so you can see the speeds now that it's dark. We're just gonna set up the kickstand, which is no big deal. And then you can brake. You can see the intensity on there, and you can see the throttle. But the throttle doesn't do anything until you push off. Okay, so now that we're going, I think we're probably gonna have to point you guys down just a little bit more. Okay, there we go. It's very easy. Okay. So it's super duper easy to see what's going on around and in front of myself. The light could be up a little bit higher, but it's okay. So as you can see, the speed is accurate, or at least really close. So now that you've seen that the speed is close to accurate, we'll go ahead and reset and point you guys out a little bit. And that's going to give you a better shot of what I'm seeing as I'm seeing it. So here we go. You definitely wouldn't be riding right now without that light. As I mentioned earlier, I would say that the light might be just a hair low. So I'm going to go ahead and see if we can adjust that at all. I don't think there's an adjustment. But just in case, and looking at the light, it's molded in pretty much. There are 2 screws on the side, but I don't think it gives you any adjustability. So there you have it, guys. So the speed is accurate. You can definitely see kind of how things work on the display now. And I think I'll take you down for a high-speed pass quick, and then you guys will be able to see this much better than during the daylight. So also, and then we've got the bell, really easy to get to. And then of course you can 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay, so that's the light. And there's your miles traveled. Okay, so we got the miles traveled, and we'll get you guys a view as we go. There we go. And you can see you can give just a little bit of brake or a lot of brake. Very obvious what's going on. So you can see it's about 17 miles an hour. And we're going uphill now pretty good. And we'll go all the way up and turn around in this drive up here. I guess the function of having these both displayed is just to give you an idea of how easy it is to guarantee that the GPS is accurate versus the speed of the actual machine. So you can see we're going like pretty fast. It's probably getting a little bit noisy. But it looks like the maximum speed comes down to about 18 or 17. And you kind of know how it is when you're filming in the dark, the exposure gets a little bit messed up. Okay, so we'll brake just real light here. And then as you turn, the light points where you're going, which is super handy. We didn't feel like our electric bikes have all been real great about that because you don't see peripheral very good. So the 2 lights that are down on the bottom here that are forward facing really do help a lot. So the visibility is pretty good. I would say if anything, the main light could stand to use just a little teeny bit more. Everything's harder one-handed. The main light could actually use a little bit more up. So I don't think there's really going to be an easy way to adjust that, but it's definitely working. We could probably diffuse it a little bit more, but it sure looks cool. So there you have it, guys. You've seen it in light, you've seen it in dark. It sure looks really sweet. It's definitely really fun to use. I love that the brake lights are on both sides. You can definitely see it from the side. The big thing is, it's easy to use, it's easy to charge, it stores nicely, and it's easy to transport. So those are all very important details. Of course, this is just a little cell phone that we've got held on there. So that isn't included anywhere. Here, we'll pop that off of there. It's actually the ugliest part of the equation. So as you can see, this little thing's just zip tied on. But we're really happy with it. And then flashing for braking. Super happy with this Troxus T1 scooter. 350 watts of power is plenty, and I'm a big guy. Definitely might want to check in the video description below and get one for yourself, or maybe one for your family. Really happy with this thing. All right, guys, leave your questions and comments down below. We'll try our best to answer them and give you guys updates after we've used it a little bit more. But thanks for watching. Come back for more. We haven't shown you guys a video of it coming toward us in the dark. It's the elusive camera crew. She's braking and going at blazing speeds of like 3 miles an hour. She'll never go fast. That's why I drive.
Gonna take you down and run over the giant spider?
Yeah. Where is it?